When I was younger, um, I say when I was younger, I'm young now, I'm 33. But when I say when I was younger, I mean like when I was 22 or 21, I I used to be, well, even before then, I used to be very I wouldn't say that I did things based on my emotions, but I was very I was very in the moment, like reactive in the moment, didn't care what would happen kind of person. Like I still kind of am, but I have more sense. I have more control of my emotions now. Or maybe I haven't been in that situation in a while, so I can't really say. What am I talking about? Let me give you guys an example. I'm a nice guy, but it's like my extreme niceness. I also have the extreme opposite side. And it's only like that with people who kind of deserve it. So let me give you some examples. Let me start from when I was the youngest, when I was my youngest time. I was in my room, and my mom was in the living room, and I heard like a speeding car and tires screeching and a girl screaming. In the moment, I thought I was in my boxers. In the moment, I thought a girl was getting kidnapped. So I ran out the house to the back of the house, like all the way around the block to go to the back of the house to see, but obviously, even if that happened, she would be long gone, right? So what I should say is I'm kind of like I always feel a need to protect people. I've always been like this. Even when I remember when I was in first grade, there was an Indian girl. We went on a field trip, and this we had to hold hands, and this Indian girl, I held her hand, and I felt so, like, because I was holding her hand, like I felt so attached to her, like it was my job to protect her. So wherever she would step, like I would make sure she had her footing right. Like it's cute when I think back about to it, but I've always been like that. So if I feel someone is in danger, I'm always quick to run to their aid. That's more of a Caucasian characteristic. That's not a black, black people, we run away from danger. We don't run to danger. But I'm more of a run to danger kind of guy. Let me give you another example. I know I'm going to forget some, but I was doing security, surprisingly, in this area, Highbridge area, which is where I live now. And it was overnight, and there was a girl that needed direction to get to some place. And I walked with her. At that time, I was like 215 pounds, like fat and muscular, like mixed together. I was bulking. I'm only 5'5", 5'6", 5'5". So you can imagine how big, I was. I might put a picture of that. But so I'm walking with a girl, and they're like these four guys. It's midnight, mind you. There are these four guys. This is the job that I was doing, where I got the sign on the floor written on concrete, Sammy E. Arlene. If y'all don't know about that sign, well, too bad for you guys. Anyway, yeah. So I'm walking with her, and these four hoodlums are posted by a car, leaning back, and they're talking with each other, and they say something like disrespectful, to like, oh, she with him, because I wasn't, like, I mean, I'm handsome, but even at that time, I wouldn't say I was handsome, because I was bulky, and they wouldn't know, they're men, so they would, but they kind of like disrespected me. I heard what they said, so I was gonna say something to them in that moment, but I didn't. I was like, let me show the girl where she needs to go, and then I'm gonna come back and confront them. So I showed her where she had to go, and I came back and I talked to them, and I was like, so if that had been my girl, like, y'all would have disrespected me like that? And then they were like, something about, one of them, the outspoken one, was like, I commend you coming up to us, saying what you're saying, but he said a phrase, and I was like, which means, like, if I have a piece on me. I was like, no. And he's like, well, lesson for you is, next time before you do something like that, make sure you strap, because we got it. You know what I mean? And then when he said that, like, I came to my senses. I'm like, yeah, that was kind of stupid of me doing. I was ready to scrap, but people don't scrap. People, they just either stab you or they shoot you. And even then, it didn't really click to me. But when they said they were strapped, they was like, all right, well, they're not gonna fight me, they're gonna shoot me. So I came to my senses. I'm like, yeah, it's not a fair world. Okay. But it still didn't dawn on me until much later. Let me fast forward, because I got 9 minutes to talk. It still didn't dawn on me until much later how dangerous this world is. And a person like me is not back in the day where you could fight one-on-one, and no, it's not a fair world. So there's this pothole, this huge pothole around where I live, right? It's covered up now, but back then it was like a huge pothole. And the construction workers would put a cone in it so that drivers would know not to drive over it and mess up their car. So one day I'm coming, with my girl from shopping or whatever, and I think my car hit the pothole, or no, I knew about it, so I avoided it. But the car in front of me, they hit the pothole, and like this, a whole bunch of hoodlums, like Puerto Ricans and blacks or whatever, they were just laughing at the car, and I was next in line, and I swerved around it, and I'm talking to my girl, and I connected the dots. I'm like, wait, hold up, that car went over the pothole, and these people are laughing. If I had went over the pothole, they would have laughed too. So as soon as I passed the pothole, I parked the car and I got out the car and I went to confront them, and I took the cone from the dude who had it, like he was trying to hold, like keep me from taking it, but he ain't showing me. I took it from him and I put it back, and everybody was like, "Yo, what you doing?" And I'm like, are y'all serious? This cone belongs in the hole, like it was a whole big confrontation. And my girl came out the car. She didn't have, she's like, her shoes were off her feet. She didn't care. She was scared that something was gonna happen to me. She's like, "You're crazy. What are you doing?" And there was another guy with his girl walking, and then like there's a whole big commotion. And the guy was like, he said it in Spanish, or I don't even know if he said like I was just blinded. Like I was ready to fight them because I was pissed. But that's just my anger, and that's bad because, okay, I'm angry. I could probably beat 2 or 3 of them or 4 of them, but after that, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna get beat up or worse. Again, it's not a fair world, and like I'm telling you, it didn't click to me then until much later, even after that, right? So the guy, he was like never do that again. And I think even if he said it in Spanish, my girl told me that that's what he said, because I forgot what he said. My girl was like, he was telling you, don't do that again. You like never do that again, like in your life, right? And I ignored him because I was so angry. And so we got back in the car, we came or whatever. Okay. The bottom line about this is I'm wiser. I'm the same person, but I'm wiser. The world is not fair. You will lose your life doing something that I did. What I used to do was stupid, right? That's going off of emotions. It is better to control your emotions than to get into these altercations, and it's happening a lot. Okay, and I will send it to my boy Franco. Like I'll send these like events where somebody would, like, this one person, he got angry with somebody because they didn't say thank you, and he got stabbed to death and he died. Another person, he was having an argument with a like a 20-something-year-old, and the guy, he's innocent, but this 20-something-year-old is all puffed up. He's ready to fight because he has a weapon on him. So and then so the guy, he's not gonna back down. He's a man. Like, you challenging me, I'm gonna fight you too. And then, but as soon as they start scrapping, the guy, the 24-year-old or whatever, he wasn't even thinking about fighting. He just took out his knife and shanked him and slit like his stomach, like slit it open, and his intestines came out, right? So like it's not a fair world. So for those of you who subscribe to me that are young like me, who are like hot-headed kind of like me, not really, just that's a warning for you guys. Don't do it. It's not. Forget about your ego. Forget about your ego. Let that go out the window. Throw it out the window. Just if somebody steps on your feet, apologize. Right? If somebody bumps you, apologize. Do whatever you can to avoid the confrontation and just get back home safely. That's all that matters. Forget about fighting. It's not a fair world. Forget if you're stronger than him. It's not a fair world. All right. So I just wanted to put that out there. All right. Peace.